It's Monday, the 16th of March, and this is a quick wrap up and a review video of today's action. It turned out when we woke up this morning, we noticed that we had 10-point rotation south side. We had 48 resistance at the end of the day on Friday, and early morning found a support low back in at that 37, 38 area. Turned around and came out the top, took out the 48s, and it left a real challenge for most traders today, I believe, who had to make a decision early. Do you like the value chasing the trade or not? I really didn't like the open where it was. I knew this was a very critical area at the 55 area. Turns out, obviously, it's the year's open, and so plus or minus, we felt that would be a pretty big decision point today. And being Monday and options expiration, there were a lot of things going on, and especially with FOMC this week. So realistically, the challenge today was to try to read the tape and understand where we were going. And I felt the first rotation would be to test upwards to that 58 to 61, 62 high. And if it took that out, anything goes. So the real challenge became, what do we do? If you don't like the open, you don't want to short, you don't want to go long, what do you do to try to carve something out of the day? And I admitted to the team, I thought that despite the fact I thought we were chasing the market, that we had to acknowledge it was stronger than we thought it might be, and that the logical targets were north and not south, and it was going to be a one-way day. And the sooner we got into that mindset and jumped into the market, we could play the squeeze. Again, shorts were fighting it all day long. T2 was 66 and a half, and I'm sorry, T1. T2 was actually 76 and a quarter, and we felt that the high odds targets would be the 72 to 74 targets, and then beyond that, obviously, would be extremely good fortune, especially late day. The odds would start to change. We felt that the 70 magnet would get hit. We said let's use that 70 to 72 resistance for a lunge contra, and don't assume that we're going to break 62. If we did, we thought 61 would be supportive for the bounce to head back up, retest the highs, and perhaps squeeze up to that gap. First bar out of the gate was the Angel, 56 and a half. It never looked back, just kept squeezing all day long. The IB got to that 65 to 66, and we felt that logical targets based on the moving averages were higher. Once we come out hot in the first hour, we're going to just chop our way higher, probably throughout the rest of the day until we get to late day where we think profit taking is going to come in. 45 to 46 was determined as our support basis. This 15-minute chart, 10 to 15-minute chart looked like they were aggressively supporting the market, came outside the boundaries and finished up on the top where we felt anybody that had a good day would want to get paid, and that's what we called for that 72 to 74. Make sure you are paid. 30-minute chart, basically the same support idea into that 44, 45 on the top half of the mid-uni, and then we are looking for the upper boundaries as a corresponding push from the law of alternation, really, from the lower band to come back up to this higher band. And you can see, obviously, in this 120 chart, did a crossover on that as well. 240 charts coming into our 75 resistance at the end of the day. This was the 10-minute chart, and you could see that resistance at the end of the day on Friday. And this rotation right in here, we believed was the key to understanding the market today, that it was just one of those one-way up days, an elevator day, and the later you recognized it, the harder it was for you probably to just bite the bullet and jump in and say, okay, it's not a good value, but we're not really buying value, we're buying a momentum market today. So realistically, once we got up at the open and squeezed up into that 72 to 73 target. We felt that with the 10-minute and 5-minute and 30-minute charts all in agreement that the bias was up to try to close that gap, and it would probably be a tedious theta burn type of move after this first kicker. And our swing charts, we felt that this measure showed us the 74.25 was a really nice swing middle, and that's one of the reasons we advise traders to make sure you paid coming into 74 at the end of the day. It could have ran a little bit higher, but we felt high odds. We're running out of time, and the logical thing, even though T2 was still available a couple points higher, the odds said by 74 to 75, make sure you are paid. And a lot of today's range was accomplished by a gap up and then squeeze from there. We had a few new traders in the room today, so we focused on helping them get organized and get acclimated. Told them that this was an atypical type day, a rabbit dog day, totally different rules than a normal range day or a two-way day. And we would be discussing other ideas as the coming weeks play out. This is E for E-Mini Wizard and Marketwizardz.com. Best to everyone.